Pokemon Virus Edition. Let's run it. The story I am about to tell is a Pokemon story. Yeah, in case you couldn't tell. It's a horror Pokemon game. It's the creepiest of all the Pokemon stories. Well, I guess we'll find out then. That is why I'm calling it a creepypasta. It's the scariest in the creepypasta series. Uh, I didn't realize creepypasta was a series. Be prepared, because this story will shiver you cold for the rest of the day. Thinking about this story all night/day long. So without further ado, my story begins. I hope you enjoy this story of mine. One more thing, this story is very sad towards the end, so don't say I didn't warn you. Also, if you have nightmares, you can't sue. That might be one of the greatest openings to a creepypasta ever written. You know, like everyone should do it just like that from now on. My story starts off with me biking through my neighborhood. Everything was normal. Then I saw a garage sale. I only had $3 with me, so I wasn't able to buy much. I figured that the reason they were having a garage sale was because they were moving. There was a moving truck, so it made sense. Oh my god. This story is already just completely falling apart. Anyways, I looked to see what they had, but I couldn't find anything I wanted. I looked under a book, and I saw a copy of Pokemon Crystal just lying there. I asked the lady how much it was, and she said it wasn't hers. Wait, what lady? You haven't established anything. I didn't know it was a lady hosting the garage sale. Yeah, he just goes up to some like random woman and asks like how much. She also said she didn't even know what Pokemon was. Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, I'm sure she didn't. I asked how much it was, and she said I could have it for free. Oh, yeah, definitely doesn't remind me of anything. So I ran home with a second copy of Pokemon Crystal. I was super excited to play it. I plugged it into my GBSP. This is when the creepy stuff happened. So I booted it up, and when I got to the title screen, this is when the crap happened. Suicune was running and it said Pokemon Crystal, but the music was not right. It was the Crystal song, but it was slowed down at least 40%. Such a specific number. I was shocked to hear this. I turned it off and tried my other copy of Crystal. To my surprise, it too had the song slowed down. Okay. At this moment, I almost screamed. Why did you almost scream? Like, nothing's happened yet. It's just the music's a little lower. Like, did you check the volume button on the Game Boy? I ran downstairs to my computer and pulled up the emulator with Pokemon Crystal. The title screen song was much faster. I thought to myself, what? I knew something was wrong with the copy of Crystal I bought. I knew my other one was real because I bought it on launch day at Kmart. This also just made me realize the fact that not only does he already have Pokemon Crystal, he also has it on emulator. So why did you even buy another copy of Pokemon Crystal in the first place? Was the old one in bad condition? Apparently not, because it seems to work. So again, why did you buy a second copy? I ran back upstairs and found the two copies like I left them. Yeah, why? What, were they gonna move? It's not like they're going anywhere. As I jumped onto my bed, they flew over me, and before I knew it, one was under the bed. How? But then again, that happens in real life, I guess. So that's not too crazy. I grabbed it and looked at it. I noticed that it looked like my other copy of Crystal. That was normal, because when I bought it, I knew it looked similar. But this was strange. What? Just, I, What is happening? Like, I'm so confused. Like, I mean, he freaks out over the song being slower. Okay, so he jumps on the bed, and then the games go flying, and so he finds the one he just bought, and then he goes on. Then he spends an entire sentence to say that it was normal because it looked similar, which he already knew. Like, we know that, dude. We know.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it changed or anything, but I found out something terrible. I couldn't tell which was the real one. That I can't tell either. I couldn't tell which was the fake one or the real one.
Yeah, bro.
You gotta love, like, just how redundant most of, like, this story is so far. At this point, I knew the one I got at the garage sale was fake, but I didn't know which one that was. So I picked one without looking, hoping for the best. I put it in my Game Boy, and this time it was fine. But then I found my player had started in Lavender Town. I mean, where else, right? Like, Lavender Town really just seems to be, like, the creepypasta go-to. With the band song playing. What band song? Was there a band song? What are you talking about? So, while I was editing, I decided to look up what the Lavender Tower band song is. And apparently, it's just a reference to the Lavender Town Syndrome creepypasta, which I'm not going to explain here for anyone that doesn't know, but it's definitely worth your time reading. But either way, it's like, never reference other creepypastas in your creepypasta. It doesn't make your story better, Doug. I then turned off my sound because I didn't want to get a headache. But I tried turning it down and I couldn't. The song couldn't be stopped. I decided to investigate the town. So I walked around and suddenly a text bubble appeared saying, "You have 2 more minutes." I had no clue what this meant. So I walked around some more and I noticed that the exits were blocked by policemen and by Team Rocket. I feel like, Team Rocket wouldn't usually be working with the police. But worst of all, the last exit was blocked by my rival. I walked into this building I never saw before and I saw Red there. I talked to him and he said, "Yup, ha ha ha." That's all he would say. As I walked out to the exit, I saw a little girl sprite there that wasn't there before. I talked to her and she said, "Get out of her. Hurry, follow me." Then couldn't control where I walked. She forced me to follow her. I was following her and she took me outside. When we were outside the building, I noticed my rival was gone. She walked where he was and I followed. But as I was walking beside her, she randomly said, "No. No. No." Then her sprite disappeared. Then Red walked beside me and said, "You too, huh?" Then the screen turned black. I pressed buttons, but they wouldn't do anything. Finally, the screen was in an unknown area. I was walking around the unknown area when suddenly a wild Pokémon appeared. I was excited to see who it was going to be, but to my surprise, it was Red. He wanted to battle, and his first Pokemon was the girl who disappeared. But I still sent out Pikachu. When did you get Pikachu? Did you just already have that? I couldn't do anything but Thunder Shock, and I was hurting the girl. I tried not to, but that's all I could do. After the girl ran out of HP, the battle was over, and Red said, "How could you kill her?" I don't know, Red. Why were you using her as a Pokemon? After that, his sprite disappeared, and the screen back to black. Suddenly, the Lavender Town tune came back. It stayed black, though. I booted off my Game Boy and ran to the garage sale on my bike. Well, then you didn't run. They were gone. They had already moved away. I was freaking out because I didn't know what to do. At that moment, I ran back to At that moment, period, I ran back to my house. I grabbed the other copy of Pokemon Crystal and put it in my Game Boy, and it was the same black screen with the same creepy song. That's when I figured it out. It was a bootleg Pokemon game for doing one thing and one thing only: infecting games. It was like a virus. I took out my copy of Crystal and put in a copy of Pokemon Red. Suddenly, I saw that it too had the black screen and creepy song. I don't know how the game infected it, but I know my all time favorite Game Boy, which I got at launch day for $99.99 on super sale at Kmart, along with my prized Pokemon games, were nothing but crap now. Oh my god. That is why I called it Pokemon Virus. I thought it was Virus Edition. What kind of tomfoolery is this?